This here is a point. Let us call this point A. I have two rays that start at point A. I have a point on each of the two rays. Let's call them B and C. And now I have two rays AB and AC. These two rays form what is known as an angle. Now I hope you already have an idea of what an angle is. We use a protractor to measure angles. I hope you've already used a protractor in previous classes and measured some angles. So a protractor looks somewhat like this. This is just for a brief revision for you. And at around this point, you have the 0 degree marking. At somewhere here, you have the 90 degree marking. And around somewhere here, you have the 180 degree marking, right? So it means that if both your rays coincide at this point, then you have an angle of 0 degrees. If one of your rays is here and the second ray is somewhere here, this angle formed is a 90 degree angle, and so on and so forth. As this second ray goes along this side, the angle increases. So perhaps you could have your angle, you could have your second ray somewhat like wait, I'll just draw it back. Yeah, so your second ray could be somewhere here, and that's your first ray, and this angle formed would be 180 degrees, right? So that's a brief revision for you. Now, this point right here, point A, this is known as the vertex of the angle, the point at which the angle is formed. The two rays that form the angle are known as the arms of that angle. So we have two arms here. Every angle has two arms. AC is the first arm and AB is the second arm. Now let us have a look at a few types of angles. This is the first angle and this is the angle right here. So let us say this is X. So when X or whatever the angle is, it is less than 90 degrees but more than 0 degrees. So here this angle is more than 0 degrees, right? But less than 90 degrees. It is known as an acute angle. Now here when our angle is X, let's say this is X, the angle, it is exactly equal to 90 degrees. Such an angle is known as a right angle. Now a right angle is denoted by this kind of a symbol. So for other angles we use this sort of a symbol, but for a right angle or for 90 degrees we use a squared kind of a symbol to denote the angle. A right angle is also known as a perpendicular. So we could say that this ray is perpendicular to the blue ray, or in other words, it means that it is at a right angle to the blue ray. Next, we have um, this sort of an angle. This angle, let's again call it X. And now here, when X is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees, so it is greater than 90 but less than 180 degrees, such an angle is known as an obtuse angle. Next I have this angle. Here our angle, this angle X, is exactly equal to 180 degrees, and you can also see that in such a case it forms a complete straight line, right? The two rays form a straight line. Due to this, such an angle where the angle is equal to 180 degrees and forms a straight line, it is known as a straight angle. These are simple terms that are referred to, that are used while referring to various types of angles. Lastly, I can have this sort of an angle. These are two rays, and this is the angle formed by the two rays. Now, this angle, let's call it again X. In this case, X is greater than 180 degrees. You can clearly see it is greater than straight angle, but less than 360 degrees. Now, what is 360 degrees? 360 degrees is when your ray goes around in a complete circle and comes back again at the point where it started. So it completes a full circle. So full circle is known as 360 degrees, right? A full circle has 360 degrees in it. So this is greater than a straight angle. It's greater than 180 degrees, but it is not yet a complete circle. It is less than 360 degrees, and therefore such an angle is known as a reflex angle.